Guys, welcome back. BDCKR here. We're back with season 4, episode 14 of our Q&A&T video series. Getting right into the first question. This one comes from Eldon, Jules, Galang, and they say, "Hey guys, I have questions right now. I hope you would answer me. First, I don't know what happened, but I got the season rewards early. Not intentionally though. I didn't even try, and I've been grinding right now due to the Red Sun pack, and was using the reset challenge glitch, which includes playing a game online to make sure that my WBID save is up to date before I erase my app data. The question is it safe to play online even though I got the rewards early? I know you discussed early not to play multiplayer after the glitch, but I just want to verify. Second, this might be ridiculous, but hey, just want to know, I got multiple copies of Gloves of Azrael due to placing higher this season. Should I keep them or should I shatter my extra copies? Sorry for the dumb questions. I hope you'd read this and just want you to know I appreciate your work. Good job, guys."
Thank you.
So, I mean, first off, yeah, okay, we can answer your question. And second off, I mean, I don't think it was a dumb question. I think
it's actually an interesting one, and I'll tell you why.
It might be more interesting than you initially thought.
Right. So the first part I actually answered in the comments. And I'm just going to repeat this because you're not the only one asking this. Even though we thought we were making it clear, make it crystal clear now. First run characters, first run gears. They are high risk. Repeats are lower risk, but repeats on characters can still be risky if the characters haven't been enough, haven't had enough runs, and you end up playing or promoting them to a higher level than should be possible before the season's over.
Yeah, so to fully clarify, the reason why going online is dangerous is the chance that an automatic ban happens if you have gear that or items that you're totally not supposed to have otherwise, or a manual ban happens because you've got stuff at a level that you couldn't have otherwise. So,
and somebody sees you and they report you and...
Yeah, so those are the reasons why going and playing online after you've got the gear or content early is a risk. Right, so if it's a repeat week, you should be fine. We can't guarantee it, but we're confident you'd be fine. We would feel comfortable going online.
So the second part is actually interesting because bit of background. It used to be that gears, when you shattered them, would give you a certain number of shards. It wouldn't matter at what level you'd fuse them. If it was 1, 10, if it had gotten the extra ability or not, it wouldn't matter. They'd give you the same number of shards.
Yeah.
And I can't remember which update changed that, but if you actually have maxed out a gear, it gives you more shards.
And I think there's a glitch at that time where you got like an insane amount of shards anyways.
Yeah, I don't know if it was necessarily a glitch, but it definitely felt like it compared to what we were getting before, because you get so many more shards.
Yeah.
So here's the thing: if you're in it for the long haul, in general...
Oh, sorry, just real quick, look at that. That's pretty close.
Yeah.
Ooh. Ooh.
It looks like she's got a really big lead, because she's got Astro Harness too.
There's the Resurrect.
But the difference is we've got a Resurrect. And that's a huge advantage.
Sorry, didn't wanna. But this is a nail biter for anybody who's watching.
Okay.
I didn't want to. Oh my god!
But look. So she's got Astro Harness, so it's really tight. Look.
Oh.
And we're gonna generate 0 power, so we need to get these next few hits in.
Oh block. My god!
Oh, look at because the screen is so big. That's hilarious. Okay.
That was.
At least we don't have a Q&A&T that ends extra early.
Yeah, anyways, that's it for this episode. Looks like we lost. Bye. Goodbye, everybody.
So here's the thing. So if you need shards to fuse gears, then absolutely should shatter them, because here's the thing. To max out the gauntlets to get the most shards out of it, which is actually a good long-term thing, would take you so long to get to that point while you're holding on to this potential source of shards, when you could actually max fuse your lower level gears, which you're more likely to get in general, whether it's from the Gear Locker or Survivor or Multiplayer Online. Those will give you a really good return in the medium term. So that as you get more and more of them, you shatter them, and each time you shatter one of those weak gears, you're getting the most shards out of it. And it doesn't really make a lot of sense to hold on to the gauntlets. I mean, to get to the point, like, I can't remember how many millions of credits and how many thousands of shards it takes, but it's a lot for a 4-star gear to get to 5. And you could do a few of the 2-star to 3-star gears, and then as you get more of them, they just become so much more productive as far as a shard generator.
So I guess the short answer is, in general for gear, if you haven't maxed them out yet, you want to shatter everything except for the stuff that you're currently maxing out.
Yeah.
if you only have enough to max out 1 or 2 gears, you want to actually save the extra copies of the gear that you're going to max out until after you've maxed it out before you start shattering it. And so there's a little bit of a kind of strategic shattering and also strategic upgrading, where early game you can get better gear for cheaper if you start with the 1 and 2 stars, and then you can get better returns on that.
And here's the non-intuitive answer too. I often will like to keep at least 1 extra copy of a gear so I don't shatter the last piece of gear accidentally.
And then lose it, yeah. So there we go. Our next question comes from Jack Owen, and they say, hey, I was wondering if there are more Injustice players in the online tournaments, because it's been challenging for me. I'm a pretty good player, and recently the battle points for winning seasons has been in the millions, and it's exhausting.
Okay, so there's a few answers to this, I guess. One is that there's still lots of cheaters and hackers. We've talked about using the play glitch, where you don't actually have to win, and you just... You know, the same one that we use for power credits, right?
Yeah.
That we advise against using an MP because of the risk of losing your account and having it suspended. But people are still doing it. And then there are hackers who can manipulate the system so that they end up getting a lot more defensive battles. And even if they win a small number of them, the defensive battles are worth more than an offensive win.
Yeah.
And then they end up with a huge number of battle points. So... That's part of the reason why it's so hard, but the other part of the reason I think it's because we're talking about everybody who's playing Injustice around the world. And it's not necessarily a matter of being good as far as, you know, having a good team or... Yeah, exactly, right?
Yeah, because you can win with a mediocre team.
Right.
If you have a crappy team and okay gear, you can win. If you have an okay team and pretty good gear, you can win. And if you have a really good team and great gear, you can win. Basically, for stat-wise, not... And then synergy also plays into account, but basically you just have to have slightly better gear than everyone else and you can win consistently.
Right, and it's the game rewards most the time that you put in.
Yeah.
So it's out of all the... I mean, clearly there's not as many people playing Injustice as there were, say, three years ago. But there's probably at least a few thousand, I'm guessing. And if you're in the top 10 players as far as being willing to put in the time, think of it like that. So... Even if we ignore all the cheaters and hackers, and maybe there's, let's say, 5 spots up for grab in the top 10.
Yeah.
Then you'd have to be in the top 5 in the world who is willing to put in the time to play it and just grind. That's still pretty impressive. It shouldn't be that easy. Here's a little story. I mean, people are always asking us about personal details. At one point, I used to play a word game. You might be familiar with this. It's called Boggle. So it's a grid of, in the standard way, you play 4x4, and it's a bunch of letters, and you're supposed to try to make as many words as you can out of it.
Yeah, and you were really, really good.
At one point, on Facebook, there's a version of Boggle that they called originally Boggleific, and then they changed it to Prolific. And at one point, I was actually ranked #1 in the world in Boggle, and that was based on head-to-head matches. And my skill has definitely declined since then. But, yeah, it's hard. Getting to the top is really, really difficult. It shouldn't be easy, and it's, I guess, what's weird, I guess, about the rewards is that getting to top 1% for, let's say, MP character isn't any worse than ranking #2. As far as getting copies of, you know, whoever's up, right? And to me, I think there should be a little bit extra for anybody in the top 10 that's not just the top 1%.
I think #1 should instantly get max elite for that character. I think they've earned it. There's a single person for that entire section. I think whoever gets first place should be the first and only person to be able to play with the full power of the character.
So my qualified agreement with that would be that if they did a better job at weeding out the hackers.
That's true.
So,
but the hackers, you know, I still think you can reward them. Because the hackers don't need it anyways.
Yeah, but then it's not even so much whether they deserve it or not. I think it's the frustration when people see that somebody it's the opportunity of having got it.
I guess so. If it's cool enough, then it feels even worse when the hackers jip you.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Exactly.
So there we go. Our next question comes from Danjay Dada, and they say, any new glitch?
And this was on the video of our alternate challenge reset. And short answer is no, but this is a sort of a takeoff point for what I want to say is that glitches, the ones that are beneficial when you can exploit them, they come and go pretty randomly, right?
Yeah.
There's no real certainty that we're even going to have one at any point. There's been stretches where there were really long glitch droughts.
Yeah, and I think part of it's new updates, where updates give opportunities for new stuff to be introduced that can become a glitch.
Right.
But I think there's probably still even glitches that we just have not
Right.
discovered yet, considering how kind of arcane
Yes.
the use of some of them is, like how specifically you have to do stuff to trigger it. There's a decent chance that there are glitches, but they're not new, and that we just haven't found yet. And then when we find them, we'll be able to make use of them.
But what the point, I think that's really important, right, in terms of making use of them, because the underlying point that the question sort of hints at for me is that whatever glitches there are, which there are some for power credits, it's not enough, and that if you've been around before these glitches, that you didn't take the opportunity to really exploit them to their maximum potential while you had the chance. Because here's the thing: if you don't know if they're there, once they're gone, you're gonna really it changes the way at least I play, because when there's glitches for credits, I don't feel nearly as frustrated by my progress, because there's content there that I can. To me, it becomes more of a sandbox kind of game instead of a grinding game, right?
Yeah, a lot of Injustice is getting stuff.
Right.
But when you buy glitch or by legitimate means, though, I think at this point probably 90% of the people who have like complete character collections probably have used some sort of glitch, or put in just so much effort. If you have a complete character collection without any glitches, like seriously, huge props to you.
Yeah.
But it's not about collecting stuff. It's about like using stuff.
Well,
at that point, having stuff and using it.
At this point in its sort of history, I think you're right. But from the beginning, though, it was, to me, it was a combination of both, right? It was getting the stuff and then playing the stuff. And part of the reason I think Injustice, for us at least, is still playable and has this longevity is that as we get past the collecting stuff, it's still really fun to play and try different combinations and just mess around with the content that we've got.
Yeah, it's kind of the opposite of an incremental game or an idle game in that sense, where once you get there, there's actually something to do. It's not just about getting better and better and better stuff.
Right.
The actual strategy of using the stuff and the playing and the fighting, the mechanics underlying it are all inherently fun enough that we haven't needed new content. We haven't had it not in our account basically from the moment that it's been available.
But the new content helps. I mean, what you're seeing, for example, is Flashpoint Team, even with just the Tantu Totem and the Master's Death card, it's changed completely how we've approached Deathstroke, because he's our special specialist, and all of a sudden now he's got 2 bars coming in. It means that our fights, maybe it's not so obvious now, but they're faster.
Yeah.
And we're getting through this, so it means we're gonna have a shorter Q&A&T. But it's fun to play around and see like the little tweaks that we can make.
Well, yeah, and because I think with the new content, when it comes in a trickle like this, it's not about the time it takes to collect it, right? That's not enough time to sustain it, because that's like a handful of hours every couple of weeks, every month, depending on how they're releasing content. What's fun about it is the way that it changes the context of the game. The way that the new characters let you make a bunch of new teams, or there's an obvious gear combination with them that you realize works with another combination of guys that's less obvious, or little things like that.
What's cool about it is each time the last 3 pieces of gear, Overpowered Pill, the Astral Harness, and now the Tantu Totem, and to a lesser extent Master's Death card, is it shifts the power balance in terms of your tank, your basic damage dealer, and the special specialist. And it's made our special specialist, on this team at least, so much better.
And it makes different guys good too. Synergy makes different specific people good. Every time a single new gear comes out, there's a new gear combination that goes with it, and there's a new team that goes with one of the people that it it really showcases, and then there's gear to go with them, and you can make a lot of new kind of combinations of stuff with every single new piece of content.
I've been playing a ton, and I'm hoping we get an opportunity to maybe highlight some of this, but I've been playing with a ton of new different teams. Mainly to highlight the special specialists, and hopefully we'll have that up soon.
So there we go. And our last question comes from Lucas Wright, and they say, what would be recommended, buying the Red Sun pack or gold packs to promote my cards, as they're currently only around tier 2? And this is kind of an interesting personal question, because this is the exact question that we asked ourselves when we were starting to play Injustice, because we saw the Red Sun pack, and that was kind of the lofty goal, and it was a It was the guaranteed
Yeah.
3-character red sun pack, but we had this exact kind of...
And all right, so from a historical perspective, we were playing at a time when the Red Sun pack was only 3 characters.
Yeah.
It was Superman, Wonder Woman, and Solomon Grundy. And even with the weak Solomon Grundy, he was still the most. That team was still the best team
in the game. Yeah,
with the
that was
synergy?
before 2.0. There wasn't even that many characters in the game yet.
Right. So the Red Sun pack now is more expensive. They have way better synergy than anything you could randomly get from the gold pack, and you'll get to a higher elite, a higher promotion way faster than buying gold packs, even though they're more expensive, because there's so many possibilities in the gold packs that what you save per character you lose in terms of being able to promote them quickly.
Yeah, having characters at like higher or maximum elite levels are kind of like a watershed moment for what you can and can't do in the game,
especially in single player, because you need to get to the level where you can grind fast enough. And to me, actually, I've taken a different approach. And now that we've gotten through single player, in a lot of ways, I'm probably limiting some of the, like, you see Flashpoint, right? They're level 5. Ooh, idea for new video. Is it worth leading them to Elite 8, promoting them to Elite 8? And whether it's a better team or whether it's worse, actually, for multiplayer play.
Yeah, just for who you're fighting against.
Right. But at the stage you're at where you've only got Elite 2 guys, then definitely the Red Sun team, you get them up to maybe Elite 5, and then you can start grinding like crazy at Bonus Battle 6.
Yeah, so I think definitely getting a single set of characters consistently higher, or in this case, 2 sets.
Yeah.
Because you'll end up with 2 teams, which is actually useful. It's going to take you longer to get a single max out team, but you'll end off with, in about the same amount of time, you'll probably end off with 2 teams.
What complicates the consideration, though, is that the Red Sun pack is going to rotate out. It will.
Yeah.
No doubt. So it depends a little bit on how much money you've got and how much you can generate.
Because and how quickly you...
Yeah.
Like how much you play.
Because if you don't buy enough packs, then you're going to be not a lot better off if you've got like a Red Sun team that's all Elite 1 or Elite 2.
The good news is that's not an awful question right now, because if you use the credit glitch, it's more of an effort of time. If you're willing to lose out on the play of the grinding and you just want to put in the time, the credit glitch is a good bet right now. So you actually do, if you have the time, you only need about a fraction as much time to put in to be able to actually get them up higher. And because you need to be under the price of a certain pack, you can just buy up to the Red Sun pack over and over.
So I'm gonna comment on this fight. We're at the end anyways, but what's good about this, Red Sun Green Lantern is normally a problem with Deathstroke now and with Ibistic. So here's the thing, with his pirate crew, the guys coming in to attack Green Lantern can crit. It still can crit damage, even though he's supposed to be crit proof. So it's beautiful because then you do 2 quick special ones. What'll happen is he will be taking a whole bunch of damage over time and potentially crit damage. And see, look, with 2 special ones, he's down to nothing. So somebody who would normally be so much trouble is no problem at all. So we're only tagging Aquaman so we can buy time for Deathstroke to come back in to get more power, and we're gonna wipe her out. Like, it's just gonna be, if they let us. There we go. But see, what I love about this setup is that Red Sun Green Lantern is not a big deal anymore.
Yeah.
Oh. It's ridiculous how fast this is, having Tantu Totem and Master's Death card, like having 2 bars of power instead of just the 1.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah. So I really want to, because now that we've got a second account that we can play around with and keep this team at E5, I'm okay with bringing one team up to Elite 8. And because the weekend just passed, even though they weren't listed, Deathstroke and Aquaman were both eligible for Breakthrough.
Yeah.
The other account has them all at Elite 8, and no spoiler alert, I think that's definitely worthwhile doing a video on them.
Yeah.
Because obviously they're going to be way more powerful. And the question is whether when you pull them out, because we're still facing Elite 10 guys here who've gotten to Promotion X, right? Or Promotion 10.
Yeah.
So we're facing Elite 10 guys. So you'd think it would only be an advantage, and that might be true. We're going to see that soon.
Yeah, not sure.
All right, so let's see. Yeah, same thing. Because of the gears, I'm just going to soften her up a little bit so that for sure he's going to finish. See, even if she blocks, she's going to get knocked out. We get 2 bars of power back. And then, yeah, he's going to take a bit of burning. Oh, wow, that was fast.
A lot of burning. There's all our power back and some free damage on this man. Arkham Knight, Arkham Knight.
Yeah,
that's not as much burning, unfortunately. Oh, and there you go.
Yeah,
There's
so,
a resurrect, but dead. Quick. So quick. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's nice to have a challenge, and sometimes it's just nice to really, you know.
Yeah, interesting teams are fun to see how well you can do with, but there's a lot of times where you just want to be able to kick somebody's butt. I remember the original Ares team. When Ares was first out, that was like a 12-second fight team, 9-second fight team, pretty consistently.
Right. And then when you started having all the special dodgers, he became less effective as a team.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people who maybe started around that time gave up on him and didn't really prioritize him. And I think we were lucky because we had him from before. And now that we've got the Tantu Totem and Master's Death card, he can solo,
He's
basically.
back, yeah.
He doesn't even need back row anymore, which is sweet. Oh, we have a video on that if you want to see it. You just have to... Our most recent Ares video is that. No back girl.
Yeah,
which is
some solid. I like that the special is one-man army, and then he brings in his friends. Because it's very explicitly not.
Yeah.
Like... There's 3 people. You've titled your attack poorly.
Oh, that's so sweet. And what's good too is that you can engage a special because specials prioritize, and I guess it's like a quick attack in Pokemon. His still prioritizes pretty quickly, so even somebody who drops in, if you're timing it right, or if they got Astro Hearts, you can still just keep on doing special ones until their invulnerability's gone. And that was it.
So there we go. That's the whole set of fights. Thank you guys so much for watching.
Oh, thank you specifically again to Alberto Jr. Camarillo, to Lane, and to iProfit for continuing to support us on Patreon.
Yeah, of course. How could I almost forget?
But also thank you to everyone else for watching these videos of ours and keep our channel afloat.
Yeah. So thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Komoda.